What if I told you? Most of the stress in your life comes from trying to impress people who don't even think about you. How many times have you changed yourself just to fit in? How many dreams have you delayed because you were afraid of what people would say? We spend most of our lives trying to meet expectations. Parents, friends, society, social media. But here's the truth. You only get one life. And it's yours, not theirs. The prison you can't see. There is a prison that doesn't have walls. No bars. No locks. And yet, millions of people are trapped inside it. It's called the need for approval. You don't see it. You don't hear it. But you feel it. Every time you stop yourself from speaking your truth. Every time you dress a certain way to fit in. Every time you silence your dreams because someone might laugh. That's the prison. How it begins. It doesn't start in adulthood. It starts when you're young. Be a good child. Don't embarrass us. What will people say? Slowly, your brain learns something dangerous. Approval equals safety. You begin to associate love with performance, validation with worth, acceptance with survival. And without realizing it, you start shaping yourself to meet expectations. Not your expectations. Theirs. The masks we wear. To survive in this invisible prison, we create masks. The perfect mask. The successful mask. The nice mask. The strong mask. You smile when you're exhausted. You agree when you disagree. You laugh at jokes you don't find funny. You say yes when you desperately want to say no. And after years of wearing masks, you forget what your real face looks like. The fear that controls you. The prison runs on one powerful fuel. Fear. Fear of rejection. Fear of criticism. Fear of being misunderstood. Fear of standing alone. So you shrink yourself. You lower your voice. You downplay your success. You hide your ambition. Because being small feels safer than being judged. But here's the truth. The more you shrink, the smaller your world becomes. The silent damage. Living for approval doesn't just limit your actions. It slowly damages your identity. You start asking questions like, is this good enough? Will they like this? What will they think? Instead of asking, do I like this? Does this align with who I am? Does this make me happy? You begin outsourcing your decisions. Your happiness depends on reactions. Your confidence depends on applause. Your peace depends on silence from critics. And that is emotional imprisonment. The illusion of control. Here's something most people never realize. You can never fully control what others think. No matter how perfect you try to be, someone will criticize you. No matter how kind you are, someone will misunderstand you. No matter how successful you become, someone will judge you. So why sacrifice your authenticity for something you can't control? The turning point. Freedom begins the moment you realize approval is optional. Self-respect is not. You don't need everyone to understand you. You don't need everyone to support you. You don't need everyone to agree with you. You only need to be aligned with yourself. That's it. Breaking the bars. Breaking free doesn't happen overnight. It starts small. Speaking your truth once. Saying no once. Choosing yourself once. It feels uncomfortable at first, because you've been conditioned to seek permission. But discomfort is the sound of chains breaking. The more you choose authenticity over approval, the stronger you become. The price you don't see. Living for others doesn't feel dangerous at first. It feels responsible. It feels mature. It even feels kind. You tell yourself, I'm just being considerate. I don't want to disappoint anyone. I'll sacrifice a little, it's okay. But what you don't realize is this. Every time you choose their expectations over your truth, you pay a price. And that price is your life. The slow loss of identity. When you constantly adjust yourself for others, something subtle begins to happen. You stop asking what you want. You start asking, what would make them happy? What would look better? What would avoid criticism? Over time, your preferences fade. Your opinions soften. Your voice becomes quieter. You become flexible for everyone, but rigid with yourself. And one day, you wake up and wonder, who am I really? That is the first cost. Losing your identity. The death of confidence. Confidence grows when you trust yourself. But when you live for others, you stop trusting your instincts. You second-guess everything. You overthink simple decisions. You replay conversations in your head. Did I say the right thing? Did they like it? Was that good enough? Your confidence becomes dependent on reactions. And when validation doesn't come, you feel small. That's the second cost. Your self-belief. Emotional exhaustion. Trying to please everyone is exhausting. You constantly monitor your behavior, your words, your tone, your choices. You become hyper-aware of how you're being perceived. And that mental pressure builds. You feel drained even when you've done nothing physically demanding. Because pretending is heavy. Wearing masks is heavy. Suppressing your true thoughts is heavy. That's the third cost. Your peace of mind. Resentment builds in silence. Here's something most people don't talk about. When you live for others, resentment quietly grows. You sacrifice your time, your energy, your dreams. And when those sacrifices aren't fully appreciated, it hurts. You start thinking, no one understands me. No one values what I give. I do so much for everyone. But the painful truth is this: you trained them to expect it. You taught people that your needs come last. That's the fourth cost. Unspoken resentment. Dreams get delayed or destroyed. This may be the most heartbreaking cost of all. When you live for others, you hesitate to chase your dreams. You choose the safe career, the acceptable lifestyle, the approved path. You silence your ambition because it might upset someone. Years pass. Opportunities disappear. And one day, you realize you built a life that looks good on the outside, but feels empty on the inside. That's the fifth cost. Your potential. Relationships become imbalanced. When you constantly prioritize others over yourself, relationships become uneven. You give more than you receive. You tolerate more than you should. You stay quiet when something bothers you. Not because you're weak, but because you're afraid to disrupt harmony. Yet real connection doesn't grow from silence. It grows from honesty. And when you suppress your truth, relationships lose authenticity. That's the sixth cost. Real connection. The regret that comes later. There is a question that echoes in many people's minds later in life. What if I had chosen myself? Regret doesn't usually come from failure. It comes from inaction. From chances not taken. From words not spoken. From boundaries not set. From a life lived carefully, instead of courageously. And that may be the greatest cost of all. The wake-up call. Here's the reality. People will adjust to whatever version of you that you present. If you present someone who always sacrifices, they will expect sacrifice. If you present someone who never speaks up, they will expect silence. But the moment you start choosing yourself, the right people will respect you, and the wrong ones will reveal themselves. The power of choosing yourself. There comes a moment in life when you realize something powerful. No one is coming to live your life for you. No one will carry your regrets. No one will fix your missed opportunities. No one will feel the weight of your what-ifs. That responsibility belongs to you. And in that moment, you understand. Choosing yourself isn't selfish. It's necessary. What it really means to choose yourself. Choosing yourself does not mean ignoring others. It does not mean becoming arrogant. It does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop abandoning yourself. It means you honor your values. You respect your boundaries. You listen to your inner voice. For so long, you may have asked, what do they want from me? But choosing yourself means asking, what do I want for my life? That shift changes everything. Rebuilding self-trust. When you start choosing yourself, the first thing you rebuild is trust. Self-trust. You begin making decisions based on alignment, not approval. You stop doubting every instinct. You stop looking around the room for validation. And at first, it feels uncomfortable, because you're not used to standing alone. But every time you make a choice that honors your truth, your confidence grows. Not loud confidence. Not ego-driven confidence. Quiet confidence. The kind that doesn't need applause. The strength of saying no. One of the most powerful words in the world is no. No to things that drain you. No to expectations that suffocate you. No to relationships that disrespect you. For many people, saying no feels like rejection. It feels like guilt. It feels like fear. But here's the truth. Every time you say no to something that hurts you, you are saying yes to yourself. And that is power. Walking away with dignity. Sometimes choosing yourself means walking away. Walking away from toxic environments. From one-sided friendships. From careers that make you miserable. It's not dramatic. It's not impulsive. It's intentional. It's recognizing that your mental health, your dreams, your energy, are worth protecting. And walking away is not weakness. It is courage in motion. People will judge anyway. No matter what you do, people will judge you. If you succeed, they'll say you got lucky. If you fail, they'll say they saw it coming. If you stay quiet, you're weak. If you speak up, you're arrogant. No matter which path you choose, someone will have an opinion. So the real question is not, how do I stop people from judging me? The real question is, why am I letting their judgment control my life? Judgment is human nature. Judgment is automatic. It's how the human mind works. People compare. They analyze. They label. It doesn't always come from hate. Sometimes it comes from insecurity. Sometimes from misunderstanding. Sometimes from their own fears. But here's what you must understand. Their judgment says more about their perspective than it does about your worth. Yet we take it personally. We internalize it. We let it shape our decisions. And that's where the problem begins. The impossible standard. When you try to live in a way that avoids judgment, you create an impossible standard. You try to please everyone. Be successful, but not too successful. Be confident, but not intimidating. Be ambitious, but not unrealistic. Be kind, but not weak. You twist yourself into a version that fits everyone's comfort zone. And even then, someone will still criticize you. Because you cannot control how others interpret your life. The fear of being seen. At the core of this struggle is one powerful fear. The fear of being seen. Seen failing. Seen trying. Seen being different. So you hide parts of yourself. You hide your ideas. Your creativity. Your boldness. You choose safety over authenticity. But hiding does not protect you from judgment. It only protects you from growth. The double standard of society. Look around. When someone takes a risk and fails, people laugh. When someone takes a risk and wins, people criticize. He changed. She thinks she's better now. He forgot where he came from. You are judged when you stay the same. And you are judged when you evolve. So if growth brings judgment anyway, why not grow? Choosing whose voice matters. Not every opinion deserves space in your mind. Some voices are noise. Some criticism is projection. Ask yourself, is this feedback constructive? Or is it rooted in someone else's insecurity? Learn to filter. Respectful advice can help you grow. Random negativity should be ignored. Your mental space is valuable. Guard it. How to start living for yourself. There comes a moment when you get tired. Tired of pretending. Tired of explaining. Tired of shrinking yourself to fit into other people's expectations. And in that quiet moment, you ask yourself, when do I start living for me? The truth is, you don't wait for permission. You decide. Living for yourself doesn't happen overnight. It starts with small, intentional choices. And today, that choice begins. Get honest with yourself. Before you change your life, you have to face it. Ask yourself, what do I actually want? What makes me feel alive? Where am I compromising too much? This step is uncomfortable. Because for so long, you may have been making decisions based on approval, not alignment. But honesty is power. When you stop lying to yourself about what you want, clarity begins to form. And clarity is the foundation of change. Stop over-explaining. One of the biggest habits people develop when living for others is over-explaining. You justify your choices. You defend your boundaries. You seek reassurance. But here's something powerful. You don't need to explain every decision to everyone. I can't make it. I've decided to do something different. That doesn't work for me. Those are complete sentences. The less you feel the need to justify your life, the more confident you become in it. Set boundaries without guilt. Living for yourself requires boundaries. Boundaries are not walls to push people away. They are limits that protect your peace. It might look like saying no to plans that drain you, limiting time with negative people, protecting your time for your goals. At first, people may resist. Not because you're wrong, but because they were used to having unlimited access to you. Stay firm. Every boundary you set is an act of self-respect. Start small, but start now. You don't have to change your entire life tomorrow. Start small. Choose the restaurant you actually want. Wear the clothes you genuinely like. Share your opinion once in a conversation. Post the content you've been afraid to share. Small acts of authenticity build momentum. And momentum builds confidence. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is progress. Detach from external validation. This step may be the hardest. Stop measuring your worth by reactions. Likes, praise, approval, agreement. When you base your happiness on applause, you give the audience control over your emotions. Instead, learn to validate yourself. Be proud quietly. Celebrate privately. Acknowledge your growth internally. When your validation comes from within, no one can take it from you. Accept that not everyone will stay. As you start living for yourself, some relationships will change. Some people may call you selfish. Some may distance themselves. Some may criticize your growth. Let them. Growth reveals who was connected to your convenience and who is connected to your truth. The right people will adjust. The wrong ones will fall away. And that's part of the process. Prioritize your long-term peace. When making decisions, ask yourself, will this give me temporary approval or long-term peace? Living for yourself is about choosing peace. Choosing the career that fulfills you. Choosing the habits that strengthen you. Choosing the environment that supports you. Short-term discomfort is worth long-term alignment. Your life, your rules. For too long, you may have lived in the shadows of others' expectations. You followed rules that weren't yours. Chased dreams that weren't yours. Wore masks that hid who you truly are. But here's the truth. Life doesn't wait for permission. Opportunities don't pause for approval. And time certainly doesn't stop for hesitation. If you want to live fully, you must take the reins. You must make your own rules. Stop seeking permission. You don't need approval to exist. You don't need permission to pursue your dreams. You don't need anyone's consent to be happy. Yet for years, we condition ourselves to ask, is this okay? Will they like it? Am I allowed? That mindset creates chains. Chains you cannot see, but feel every day. Breaking free starts with one simple realization. You are allowed to live your life your way. Embrace responsibility. Choosing yourself comes with responsibility. Responsibility to your happiness. Responsibility to your growth. Responsibility to your boundaries. Some people will judge. Some will criticize. Some may even resent you. And that's fine. Your responsibility is not to please them. Your responsibility is to honor yourself. Every decision you make shapes your world. Every boundary you set protects your peace. Every dream you chase strengthens your life. The courage to be different. Living by your rules is not always easy. It takes courage to stand out when everyone blends in. Speak your truth when everyone is quiet. Take risks when everyone plays safe. It takes courage to say no. It takes courage to walk away. It takes courage to choose yourself. But courage is not the absence of fear. It is acting despite it. The power of authenticity. The moment you stop performing for others, something incredible happens. You start attracting people, opportunities, and experiences aligned with your true self. No more pretending. No more masks. No more compromise of your essence. Your relationships deepen. Your work becomes meaningful. Your life becomes intentional. And all because you chose authenticity over approval. Trust yourself. You are capable. You are worthy. You are enough. The world may say otherwise. Others may doubt you. Fear may whisper lies. But when you trust yourself, you no longer need their validation. You no longer seek their permission. You become the leader of your own life. The author of your own story. The guardian of your peace. So start today. Set your boundaries. Speak your truth. Chase your passions. Say no when needed. Walk away when necessary. Take small steps. Take big steps. But never stop moving toward the life you truly want. Remember, the only rule that matters is the one you write for yourself. Your life. Your rules. Your freedom. If this video resonated with you, take a moment to hit that like button. It helps others find it too. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a video that helps you live life on your own terms. Comment below, I choose myself, if you're ready to stop living for others and start living for you. Remember, your journey is yours alone. Keep choosing yourself, keep growing, and we'll see you in the next video. Your life. Your rules. Always.